Hey everyone, happy Friday. So I suppose we get going. Damian Brennan is coming on today. He is Presidential Marketing Director in the company. I'm going to let him introduce himself and we can go from there. I'll see if I can get him on. So bear with me a few minutes, guys. Well, hopefully not a few minutes. Hopefully we get him on soon. So just waiting for him to come on there. As soon as he comes on, we'll be able to get him on. But Damian Brennan, I've obviously known Damian Brennan for the last 3 years, since I started with the company. I first met him in Navan, face to face, and I heard his story and all he's accomplished since 1994, and I was just blown away. He is a really nice man, and hopefully we get him on soon. So, see Sabrina's there. Just waiting on Damian to come on. Okay. So he's not on yet, but yeah, so Presidential Marketing Director, guys, is the top position in our company. It's an incredible position. I don't want to ruin Damian's story. I want to let him tell the story. So just waiting for him to come on there now. Hi, Alison. So, as well, to give you a little bit of an insight then, back in 1994, Damian Brennan obviously joined our company, but what led to that is that 28 years later, even 25 years later, we signed up. So even after 25 years later, he was still impacting lives, which is incredible. Now, hopefully he gets on. I know he's not too familiar with Facebook Lives. There he is now. Hey, Damian. So, let's see if I can get you on. So I see you there, Damian. The other thing, Damian, I forgot to mention, if you are there, you have to do this on your phone. It can't be done on a laptop. Okay, if you have your phone beside you then. So, just not getting you up here on screen. The joys of Facebook double lives. Oh wait, I know he was trying to join there. I don't want to. He might have been on a computer, so. No, he's still there, Damian. If you're on the phone, yeah, I'll see if I can. If you can send me a friend request to come on, that if it's there as an option for you. But I'll see if it's not coming up to add you. There we go. Add. There now. Brilliant. We're on. We're on.
Hello, Paddy.
Hey, Damian. How are you?
I'm very well. This is very much a new experience for me.
It's about being outside your comfort zone, isn't it, Damian?
I was just thinking there, Paddy, that back in '94 when we started off, if anybody would have told us we'd be doing double lives, it might be something to do with training on the football field or something like that, but not this.
Very good, very good. Okay, I won't keep you too long today. Thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it. I suppose let everybody know who you are, introduce yourself, how long you're in the business, and why you decided to go for this.
Okay, well, Paddy, I live in Lovely Leitrim, and my background was I was school principal here for the best part of 40 years. And back in 1994, we were first introduced to Juice Plus. And at that time, Olive and myself had a farm, and so as well as teaching, I was farming. In 1980, then, 14 years previous to that, we had started a manufacturing business. And we built a factory, and we had, by 1994, when we came across Juice Plus, we actually had 12 people employed. So it was a pretty big enterprise for people who were already busy teaching and farming. As well as that, I had been elected to Leitrim County Council in 1979. So that was another job I was doing, very much involved in community activity all around the county, really. And I was also very much involved in the GEA, playing and coaching teams and so on. So as well as all of that, we had a large family. We had 8 children. So it was fairly busy household here already. So talk of a new business wasn't all that popular, we'll say, in this household. I really had 4 full-time jobs: the teaching, the farming, the manufacturing business, and the county council. So against that background, a friend of ours had come across Juice Plus. It was just new on the market. This was the beginning of 1994, and it had only appeared in this part of the world at the end of 1993. So she had come across Juice Plus. She thought it was a very good idea, and she'd been introduced to the business, and she wanted us to come and see the product, and she wanted us to learn about the business and see what we thought about it. We, obviously being busy, we used lots of excuses for a couple of weeks, and eventually ran out of excuses and agreed to go to a meeting to hear about this on the basis that she would not mention it in the future then. She'd leave us alone. So we went to Longford, and there were about, I suppose, about 20 people there. There were a few people that we didn't know, and they seemed to be involved in the business already. And they did a presentation, first of all, on the Juice Plus product. And that made great sense to us. And we could see how our friend was interested in it. So it was something we were sold on as soon as the presentation was done. Now, the presentation wasn't very professional because this was at the very launch of the product, really, in Ireland. And we decided, as soon as that presentation was completed, that we would be buying Juice Plus. We would be customers for Juice Plus. But then they went on to talk about the business. And this is where it got really interesting, because remember, we had a very busy background, and we had a factory with 12 people employed. So we had a lot of overheads, a lot of stress, a lot of, I suppose, worry about the future of the business and making sure everybody was looked after and orders were out on time and all of the things that go with being self-employed. But these people were telling us that there was a better way. You could have a business without any investment, without any financial investment in it. Now, we had remortgaged our house to build a factory. And here they're telling us you don't need an investment. They went on then to say that you can actually expand your business over not just Ireland, but internationally, but you don't have any employees really, so you don't have to pay any wages at the end of the week. And that was another interesting concept, because our wages always obviously had to be paid at the end of the week. And sometimes, if money hadn't been collected, my teaching salary would have to go to supplement those wages. So that was a big area of concern for us. And here they're telling us that there's no need for that. They were also telling us that the company did so many things for us that there was almost nothing left for us to do. Now, it wasn't as good a system as it is today, but it was pretty good back then. So at the end, they also said that the potential is just so enormous, and you can have a business in all of these countries and so on. Some of these people were actually, even in a few months, they were already being quite successful, and which was interesting to hear their stories. That was very powerful. But still, I wasn't convinced. I wasn't convinced that you could have a business like this without an investment, that you could have a business without overheads, administration, without having to pay people wages and so on. So I thought there has to be something about this. There's a catch someplace in it. And I wasn't exactly sure where that catch was. Now, while I was turning that over in my mind, Olive had a different outlook on it. She saw an opportunity. For us, one of the big things we were facing, one of the big challenges we were facing, was we had a large family. I was teaching, and because of that, we wouldn't get a grant, a college grant for the children. So this was a big preoccupation for Olive and for me as well. So she saw this as an opportunity, and what she said that night immediately was, I'm going for this, and I'm going to build a college fund. Now that meant maybe 500 to 1,000 a month going into a fund for the children would be brilliant. For me, I presume she put the question to me, what do you see in it? And what I saw in it, what I would love to get out of it, would have been an extra 1,000 a month in about 20 years into the future, when I would be ready to retire from teaching. Because retiring from teaching, you go from a full salary to a half salary. We were getting it very hard to survive on a full salary. Surviving on a half salary wasn't a very attractive proposition. So what I wanted, if I wanted anything from this business, was to earn 1,000 a month extra to supplement my pension when I would come to retiring age. And I was prepared to work part-time 20 years for that if necessary. And we were still debating, I was still debating about the merits of this business. This couldn't be true. It was just too good to be true. But after a fair bit of discussion, eventually Olive decided she was becoming a distributor there and then, regardless of what I wanted to do. So she became a distributor. She signed up there and then. I left it for a few days to see if I could get behind where this issue was, where the dilemma was in it, or where the catch was in it. And after a few days, I did discover the catch. And the catch was between these 2 points here. It was in my own head. I was so busy and stressed being an employer already that I couldn't see there was an easier way. But having figured it out, we both committed to it. We decided we were going to give it our best shot on a very, very part-time basis. We weren't giving up any of the other jobs, but we would make time every day to do something in relation to this business. And that's what we did. So we set out in the business, May 1994, over 28 years ago. Olive's target was a college fund. My target was supplement the pension. And I think we were both thinking around the same thing. 1,000 a month eventually would be tremendous money.
Amazing, amazing. And okay, so I was chatting to Gordon the other day. So the franchise fee, which you signed up, hasn't changed too much. It's cheaper now than it was back then. You had to purchase some stock at the time as well, which you don't have to do anymore. So you face different challenges that we would have faced today. Obviously, you didn't have social media, you didn't have internet. So how did you do the business back then?
Well, you're very right there, Paddy. There were many challenges that we don't have today. And I suppose the very first one of them was that this was a brand new product. Juice Plus had just arrived on the scene, a brand new product. There was no supporting material. There were obviously no studies carried out at that point, but there was no worthwhile brochures. There was one audio cassette tape, one version of that. And you bought the audio cassette tape and you played it in your car, or you played it at home, and you gave it to people to listen to this and see what they thought of it and so on. So just imagine, that was it, end of story. Obviously, those of us who thought Juice Plus was a good idea thought that because we understood that fruits and vegetables were very important as a source of nutrient. And we also understood, well, I certainly understood, that I wasn't eating properly. I was running from one place to another, and the dinner would be ready at whatever, 6 o'clock. It would be reheated at 1:15 and at 7:30 and at 7, and it could be still going on at 8 o'clock before I got to it. So the dinner was no longer cooked, it was cremated. And there was absolutely no goodness left in it. And my reaction to that was that I was developing an ulcer. And I had a lot of issues I was lacking in energy and so on. So taking Juice Plus to me made sense, but getting that message across to other people was very difficult because we didn't have a track record at the time. Juice Plus didn't have a lot of customers whose stories were out in the media or anything like that. We didn't have social media. So that was one of the problems. A part of that as well was there was no awareness back then of the real value of fruits and vegetables in our daily diet. Everybody grew fruits and vegetables, and it's often said that familiarity breeds contempt. We didn't really value them to the extent that we should have. every house around here had a vegetable garden, an extensive vegetable garden, and they had a potato field, and they grew everything that they ate, literally everything that they ate. So people were more healthy in that sense. They were more physically fit as well. So there wasn't the awareness of the need to supplement the diet to the same extent that that's there today. And as I said, there wasn't the link, there wasn't the understanding that nutrition is the cornerstone of good health, and fruit and vegetables are the cornerstone of good nutrition. That just wasn't there. The other thing we didn't have, and sometimes we forget about this, is we didn't have a home delivery service. Right now, if I have a neighbour here who wants to order Juice Plus, I simply put that order in online. It's sent off to the company. The company do everything else. They process the order. They invoice the customer. They dispatch the Juice Plus directly to the customer. They will follow up and they'll give some support to the customer. And they will send me a statement at the end of the month and a check to accompany it. So they do all of that. Back then, they didn't. We, as you pointed out, we had to invest in stock. So typically, people invested £2,000 in stock to start off. Gordon and those lads from Scotland, they might invest more. They were better off than we were in Leitrim. But we just invested 2,000 in stock. And we had to then turn over that stock. We had to get our money back. So we ended up, or the process was, you actually sold 1 month at a time, you collected the money for it, and you came back in a month's time and you repeated that again. So it was door-to-door salesmanship to some extent at that point. The other thing you mentioned we didn't have was social media. I remember somebody at a meeting having a mobile phone, and it resembled, well, almost the size of a 9-inch block he was carrying around in his hand. And we didn't even know what it was in the beginning. And then the idea that you would need one of these seemed ridiculous altogether. What would you be doing with one of those things? And that was the other thing we didn't have, and this is the final one, I suppose, Paddy, but it's a very important one. Back then, we as partners didn't have a bonus program. We got paid a commission on every sale, and we got paid a commission if we built a team, but we didn't have any bonuses. And for those who don't maybe understand what that meant, was that today we have bonuses to the value of €155,000 available to us to help us to build a business, to recognize us when we get from one step to another. Back then, no bonuses. The only income you had was from the sales that you made. And so it was quite a different business, Paddy.
Okay, so one thing you've always said to me before, and people, okay, you've been able to build an incredible business over the last 28 years. You obviously had a small investment of €2,000. The problem, and you said this before, is that the opportunity today is too cheap.
Yes, that is.
And,
that is an interesting one. You join the business today for €60. And for that, you get absolutely everything you need, right down to a personal mentor. You have a personal sponsor or mentor who will walk with you step by step until you become really proficient at what you're doing. It's a very simple business, so there's not much to learn anyway. But you've got that person there to support you every single day and to help you to work out what's possible for you in the time constraints that you have and so on. So that is invaluable, that personal mentor. As well as that, you have got a very extensive involvement from the company themselves. The office for us is obviously in London, and they're very close at hand to answer any questions or to sort out any issues that arise for us. The other big advantage we have today is the home delivery service. The home delivery service is just incredible. We don't ever see the product. It goes directly to the customer. It means the customer gets the best possible price as well. They're buying directly from the manufacturer. So there are a lot of in-betweens that are cut out, and it means the customer is getting the product at the cheapest possible price. The other thing that we've got today that we didn't have back then is we've got extensive independent scientific research published in medical journals about the value of Juice Plus. Now, we never claim that Juice Plus cures anything or that it'll prevent anything in particular, But we do know from the studies, and we do know anecdotal evidence of literally millions of customers now, the kind of stories that are coming back are really, really impressive. So we've got all of that information. We've got all kinds of backup then on YouTube, on Vimeo, on video and social media, and all over the place. People, experts, medical people who have used Juice Plus in their practice, who have seen the value of it in their own families, and that brings huge credibility to the business. So after 28 years, Juice Plus has kind of matured in a sense. It's now more or less center stage. And I believe in the future, it will be a household name. We are still pioneering it in the sense that people still confuse it with, you know, some other kinds of supplements that you can get. And I've no problem with supplements for those who want to do supplements. But this is not just a supplement. This is whole food in a capsule. This is the capsules are made of 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries. And the way they're produced, the standard to which they're produced is just incredible. So there is no rival for Juice Plus in that field, really, in my view. And the support we have got is just incredible.
Amazing. And then to the business, okay, so we set out to earn an extra 1,000 a month and put the kids through college. Was that achieved?
That was achieved. Yeah, it was really great. Now we did, to be honest, when we got into the business, we really did give it a good bit of time and certainly a lot of effort. That was 1994. By 1997, we sold the manufacturing business so that we could give more time to our Juice Plus business. Now we had it well established. We had been 3 years at that stage, so we knew at that point what the value of the business, and we knew the potential of it. So therefore, we were comfortable to sell our business, and we concentrated more on it. There were lots of challenges. There always are in self-employed business. But you know, I'm often asked about the challenges and how we overcome them. But one thing to remember is that when you're self-employed, you will always have challenges. But if you have challenges in a mainstream self-employed business like our manufacturing business, if we had a challenge there, if we didn't get paid from a big customer or something went wrong, then that had serious implications for us. It might mean you'd have to close down for a while, or it might mean that it was going to cost you a lot of money that you hadn't budgeted for, or whatever. But in this business, when you meet a challenge, you don't ever have to close down. And you don't ever have to worry about it costing you money. It never does. The only challenge you'll ever meet here is usually because somebody you're talking to, you feel that they could benefit enormously from Juice Plus or from the business, but they don't see it that way. At least they don't see it in the first exposure. And we get disappointed over that. And we feel this is a challenge. It's not a challenge. That's life. When you're talking to somebody about something oftentimes you'll have 4 or 5 conversations with them before they begin to grasp what you're talking about. And sometimes we're too hasty with that. So there were challenges in the Juice Plus business, but they weren't significant when you compare them to challenges in a regular self-employed business.
Yeah. And one of the big things for me, okay, so you've done this yourself with Olive, but not only that, it opened up other doors for your family. So your son got involved, and you have a family business now. So who else is involved, and what has your son been able to do with the opportunity?
Our son Donald is a PMD as well. So he's gone to near enough the top of the business as well. He has a good income from that. He's still working full time. He's a financial controller in the business, and it's a responsible job and it's a busy job, but he's continually working on this at the same time, because you can work at this at lunchtime, and you can work on it in the morning when you're going to work, and in the evening when you're coming home. So there are always possibilities in this. We've also got 2 daughters who are involved in it, and they're fitting it around their social life, I think is about the best way to put it. They're both busy working. They're both teaching actually, but as well as that, they do their business and they're getting a good part-time income from it. To me, the big advantage of that is that their business is there, building gradually, returning a small monthly income, but the the potential is there for them to pick it up any time in the future and build it to whatever level they want. So it is, from that point of view, it's a great business, and I certainly recommend it to all the family here. Some have taken it up, some haven't yet, but I've no doubt in the future they will. To us, it has made an enormous difference. There's no question about it. I took early retirement back 10 years ago, 2012, actually retired. I'm thinking of going back to teaching now because they're so badly stuck for teachers, and I'd love to go back. But I gave it up we retired in 2012 so that, again, we'd have more time for this business. And this, for me, has become a teaching business anyway, because you're still training people, as you know, and teaching all the time, and it's great from that point of view. From the point of view of income, our initial target at the time was pretty big. We were talking about 1,000 a month each, and that was quite a lot of money back in 1994. In the meantime, our income just kept growing and growing. Once or twice it might stall for a little while, but it took off again, and it just kept growing and growing, and we reached P&D in the business. We collected quite a few of those bonuses. Unfortunately, we were already well up the ladder by 2013 when the bonuses came in, but we still collected some of the ones at the top. And the best of all was we have seen members of our team grow and develop and prosper in their business. And that's the greatest feeling of all, to see them walking across the stage as being promoted, being recognized for what they've achieved, and to hear their stories of the impact that the income from this business has made on their family budget and on their future. That has been tremendous. And the example of you and Sabrina, Paddy, are a perfect example of that.
26 years later, I think you're still impacting lives. I said it at the start, because you kept going. And so many people give up after 2 months or 3 months or whatever, but you stuck at it through the 90s, through the hard times, through the ups and downs. And yet in 2019, you were still, creating an impact in people's lives, which is absolutely incredible. So I have to thank you for that. But yes, we've covered a lot there today. It is incredible. Obviously, it's changed my family's life, Sabrina, and given us great opportunities. It is, as many people who have been with it from the beginning, it's only getting started. As you always say, the best is yet to come, and probably the top earner in the company has not even been signed up yet. So
yeah, that's definitely my belief, surely. And when you look to the future and you listen to the goals that the company have for, we'll say, even up to 2025, the goals are incredible. They're talking about putting on an extra 1 million customers in that time, between now and 2025, an extra 100,000 partners, distributors, who will build a business for themselves and for their families. That's really a fantastic impact, and it's great to be part of that. And we are absolutely guaranteed that success because we have an incredible company. They're 52 years in business. That's just unbelievable. They provide us with comprehensive support. We have unrivaled products. We have no real competition for the Juice Plus when you get to understand what's involved in it. We have a simple but powerful franchise system. Literally, all we do is we solve problems for people with the product and with the business. We get into conversation with somebody. It could be anywhere. It could be while you're filling the diesel. It could be while you're queued up in the supermarket. You get into conversation with people, and Irish people are very good at that. But what's really important from this point of view is that we listen to what the other person is saying. Sometimes we don't make good listeners. Well, we should be good listeners, and we hear what the other person is saying. They usually identify a challenge that they're having. It could be with themselves, it could be with their children or whatever. Let's say in relation to health generally. And having listened to that, generally we will have come across that in our own lives or in our families' lives. So we can empathize with them, we can understand that, and we can tell them how we manage to solve that issue with Juice Plus. That's all we do. We take Juice Plus ourselves, we experience the benefits, and we share that experience with other people. We don't go out as salespeople. We're certainly not door-to-door delivery as we used to be way back in the very beginning. We just simply share our experience with other people. And if they are interested, we provide them with whatever information they need to make a decision. In relation to the business, this is something that to some extent we have neglected, because for me, the business is equally as good a business as Juice Plus is a product. So Juice Plus for me leads the field in the product area. The Juice Plus business certainly leads the field in the business area, where you have no investment, you have no overheads, you have no wages to pay, you have none of the usual administration of self-employed business, and you have all the advantages, and you have enormous comprehensive support around you. You have absolutely nothing to lose. And just, I'll finish with a story. One of my daughters is a chartered accountant, and I was discussing the business with her way back years ago in very early stages. And I said to her, because of all these things, you have no financial risk. And she said to me, there is no such thing as a business without a financial risk. So we discussed that for a while, and maybe we argued a little bit about it for a while, and we discussed it again. But in the end, she joined the business. So that for me is the lesson. There is no business to compare with this into the future. And we can help a lot of families, particularly in the current situation. And all they've got to do is to look at what's on offer, get to understand it. And if they make a decision then that they want to be part, that they want to use this to help solve their financial problems, our commitment to them is that we will work with them one-to-one as a mentor on the ground to get them off the ground. And we'll continue that as long as we need. And that's our responsibility. Because when you understand the benefits of Juice Plus, and when you see the benefits of the business system itself, then it's no longer just an opportunity, it's a responsibility to share it with other people. I really do believe that.
And as you said there, you know, it is a responsibility, and that's the way I see it. But the last few years have really shown the potential, because when all other businesses were closed, our business was still open and thriving. You know, people needed our business over the last years, and people need it now more than ever as well. When everything else is struggling around us, this business thrives. You know, the focus for the last 3 or 4 years has been on our health, that we should be improving our immune system. There's a great product there to do that. But as well as that, you know, everything has gone online. Everything is online now. People would rather shop online from the comfort of their couch than go out to the supermarkets or go out to the shopping centres. You know, I've been in the shopping centres recently with Sabrina, and we're looking around and we're like, there's nothing in the shops. If you'd find more online. So everything's going online. And then obviously having a business that's online, that's unaffected by the rest of the world, is incredible. So yes, it could very well be the future of businesses.
Yes. Without doubt, without doubt. At the same time, people of my vintage don't want to lose the face-to-face. We love the face-to-face as well, but online, you have the opportunity to touch so many people using social media that it's a tremendous tool for anything to do with business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, Damian, for coming on. Really appreciate it. It was great talking to you again. And hopefully, are you going to Birmingham?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll see you in Birmingham then. It's short. It's coming around the corner now. It's next month.
Next month, 19th of November.
Brilliant. So yeah. So looking forward to seeing you there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Thanks, Damian. Thanks for
Bye.
coming on. Hope you enjoyed your first experience of a Facebook Live.
I think it's gone without a hitch.
See you later. Bye bye.